Hello everyone, this is Mondan Raghavan. This video we are going to see typecasting for reference types. Let's see if we have one class, if we create the object for that specific class. After creating the object, if you are converting one type of class object to another type of class object will be considered as the typecasting. So what are the different scenarios you will be looking for the typecasting for the reference types and what are allowed, what are not allowed, that we will be discussing in this video. So some of the main theory points about the typecasting for the reference data types are: reference variable only refers to an object but does not contain the object itself, which means that, for example, if you take the primitive data type variable, let's say integer a is equal to 10, a will be directly looking into the memory of the 10 value. Whereas reference variable, let's say, for example, if you're creating the object for human class, human h is equal to new human, you will be creating one object at runtime. So the h variable will be just referring to the location of that object. It is not having the exact actual object. It will be just having the reference to the object. So that's the reason the name itself called be reference variable. Then upcasting. So for example, if you see in the, let's say, inheritance in Java, you might be having the parent class and child class. The upcasting is nothing but whatever you have the child object, you are just casting to the reference of having the upper class or let's say parent class. So what happens if you change from a child class to parent class? So for this one, you need to understand, first of all, why do we need the child class? Let's say if you have some existing class, let it be any class. You are creating one more class for your utility, but in that scenario, you are finding that some of the functionalities that are already available in your some other class. So then you will be considering that class as the parent class. So which means that already some class is there with some predefined options or predefined functions or methods. Let's say if you are creating the object for the existing class itself, it will not suffice because you are having some more requirements for the your new utility function or new utility application. So for that scenario only, you are trying to create the one more class. So which means that we can clearly understand that the existing class does not satisfy our requirements, but still it has some part of that. So that's the reason we will be extending the parent class. After extending, we will be writing our own requirement or extra functions that we need in our child class. So obviously you can understand here that if we have the reference for the parent class, then you will be having limited number of functions and methods. If you have the reference variable for the child class, you will be having all the functions provided in the child class as well as in the parent class. In order to understand this one very clearly, let's say if you have the equal symbol here, right? For example, on your left-hand side, you will be having the class and reference variable. On your right-hand side, you will be having the object creation, which is in yellow here. Obviously, when you compile the code, you will be just considering only your left-hand side, which means that if you are telling the h variable is the reference type, which is the type of human class. So which means that at the compile time, wherever you are going to use h variable to call the different methods, that should be only from your human class. You cannot use any methods or properties from your engineer class. Why? Because the engineer object itself will be created at runtime. So that's the reason when you have the reference of parent type, whatever the methods properties will be available only in the parent class that will be used. So that's the reason in above point, upcasting narrows the list of methods and properties available to this object, and downcasting can extend it. So let's consider the simple example here. So here you will be having the human h is equal to new engineer. As we discussed here, since you have only the parent class reference on your left-hand side, you will be implicitly upcasting to the human type, even you create the new engineer object. So that's the reason you will be having very less number of methods and properties. If you have the child class directly, you can do that. But now the question arises is like, if I have the child class with enough methods and properties, including the parent class methods and properties, why do I need to mention the parent class reference here? That's where the catch comes here. Let's say if you have the human h, let's consider this new engineer object I'm creating here directly. But in some scenarios, it can be given, the object can be given by any other program or any other method, right? So in that scenario, it can be any object. For example, you can see it can be the engineer object, it can be the doctor object, or it can be the, let's say the another some other object, right? So in that scenario, everything will be extending the human class because the properties or method which are available for the human level will be applicable for all the engineer, doctor, or let's say lawyer, everyone, right? In real time also it happens, right? So every engineer can be the human, but every human cannot be an engineer. The same way for the every doctor will be considered as a human, but every human cannot become a doctor. So that's the reason if you have the upper class reference at runtime, you can get any object which extended that parent class. The same concept that we will be discussing in the coming sessions, why do we need the interfaces? So let's say tomorrow if something happens, or let's say the engineer object is not good, so you are having some other, let's say the subclass which extend the human class, still you can use it without changing the reference type. You will be having less minimal changes. So that's the reason you will be always using the upper class reference or the interface reference. Here we have not seen the interface, but we can consider like a upper class reference. So which helps us to have any type of object which extended the parent class. Okay, fine. We have seen enough about the upcasting. Let's consider the downcasting. Here in the specific scenario itself, you can consider, you know that you are creating the engineer object, right? So, but as we discussed here, we cannot use the methods present in the engineer class because we have the reference type of human. But in order to utilize the methods from the engineer class also, and you know that this is the type of object, I mean the engineer type of object that will be created in runtime. So that's the reason we will be explicitly downcasting that object. For example, the H will be downcasted to the engineer type. Then you can use all the methods from your engineer class. But how do we know that whether the given object, because in runtime, if you are getting from some other class or some other method, some object, and you want to downcast it, but in before downcasting, you need to clearly confirm that whether it is the engineer type class object or not. Right, so that's the reason we will be using the instance of operator to check the type or to check the class. Once you confirm that class is a predefined class, for example, in our case, it is the engineer, then you can proceed with the downcasting. Then you can use all the methods present in engineer class specifically. So this is all about theory on the typecasting. We will be doing the same thing in the practical. Okay, let's consider this package. The package name would be reference typecasting. And here we have three classes. One is human class, and engineer class, and driver class. As usual, the driver class will be having the runtime code, or let's say the triggering point for the different class objects. Let's consider the human class here. As we discussed here, so we will be having only basic quality of the human class. For example, age and the name. So any human will be having the age and name. So that's the reason I'm just mentioning here two properties and one method, which will be using the both properties. For example, age and name. It will be showing human name is a name followed by with age and the age. So whenever you create the human object, it will be default that you need to provide the age and name in the constructor. So that's why we have the constructor also here, which will be getting the input as the age and name. So it will be the constructor with arguments. Okay, let's jump into the engineer class. We know that every engineer will be the human as well. So that's the reason we don't want to repeat the code for showing the basic details. We are extending the human. And specific to the engineer class, we will be having the company and the salary. Then when you create the engineer class object, it's obvious that you are going to fulfill the requirements for the human class also, because you are going to use all the methods from the human class also, because you are extending the human class. In order to use the human class methods, you need to give the values for the human class properties also. So that will be done by using the constructor. So constructor you are creating for the engineer class by using the age, name, company, salary. But whereas age and name will be just passed to the parent class constructor by using the super keyword. Then remaining properties which are very specific to the engineer will be set here itself. Then here void show engineer profile will be showing the basic detail, or let's say the engineer profile for the given engineer with the name and the company name. And coming to the driver file. So here we have two basic scenarios where you will be creating the object for the human class and you will be having the reference with the type of human itself. So which means that in line number 7, you can see you are creating the human object with the reference type human, and you are just trying to use some methods. For example, if you try to use methods, so here you can see human dot and show, you can see only the human details, show human details, because you are directly creating for one specific class and you should be using all the methods or properties from the specific class. Obviously, it's a straightforward. The same for the engineer class. Let's say you are creating the engineer class object and you are creating the with the engineer type reference. Let's say even the type of the reference will be the engineer, which means that you are using the class, but however, engineer class has extended the human class. So you can use both the methods and properties from both the classes. So that's the reason you can use both show human detail, show engineer profile as well. Now the change comes here. So upcasting. So upcasting in the sense, let's say you are creating the engineer object at the runtime, but you are trying to hold in the human class. So what happens here is on the compile time, you will be checking H1 objects, or let's say H1 type, which will be the human class, and all the methods present the human class can be used. And you cannot use any other method present in the engineer class. Why? Because it will be happening at the runtime. So what happens internally is like whenever you have this kind of statement, it will be upcasting implicitly by using the specific class. Even though we don't mention the casting operator here, it will be upcasted to the human class. So that's the reason we can use only the methods present in the human class. Then downcasting. For the same example, we have created and we have reference of H1 type of human, right? So let's say I'm just checking whether H1 is the instance of engineer or not. If it is true, then I will be typecasting that engineer, let's say the H1 object to the engineer class. Then I will be having another reference called engineer, and it will be having the variable name as casted engineer. So which means that once I confirm the type of subclass, I will be just downcasting to the subclass. Then I will be using all the methods or extra methods which are present in the subclass. In our case, subclass is engineer class. So that's the reason you can use now casted engineer dot show engineer profile. Whereas here in this before downcasting, you cannot use the H1 dot show engineer profile. So let me run this and see the output. Here you can see the first one is human name is Rudra and with age 32 direct. And second one is human name is Nolan with age 33. Okay, in the engineer object, which has the both the methods, human details as well as the engineer details. And H1, so before downcasting, so we will be having only the human basic detail, Krish and age 40. Whereas after downcasting, we can get the details about the engineer profile as well. So this is engineer Krish working in Amazon. Fine. So this way we can clearly understand we will be having on our left-hand side, which will be the type, that type of class or which are the methods present in that type. Those methods only can be used in the compile time. You know that some places you will be having the subclass object is being created. You can downcast it after checking with the instance of operator. Then you can downcast so that you can use all the methods available in the child class as well as in the parent class. So this is all about the typecasting for the reference data types. So thanks all. Thanks for watching and have a great day.